like I say, I ain't picked it up for almost 2 years.
You sound damn good. You sound great. I tell you what.
Back about 1878, pretty girl walked through Jim's front gate. Nobody paid no attention to run. They just called him Billy Bio. Billy, Billy Bio, watch where you go. You're walking on quicksand, walk slow. Billy, Billy Bio, watch what you say. A pretty girl will come again one of these days or something. Oh, damn it. I wanna go home. Please let me go home. While I feel so broken, I want to go home. Man, I was so damn short of breath. Today I passed you on the street, and my heart fell. Oh shit. What did I miss there? There you go. And my heart fell at your feet. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. Somebody else stood by your side, and you seemed so satisfied. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. Picture from the past came slowly, really, as he held your hand and walked so close to you. Then suddenly I got that old-time feeling. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. Ah, Christ. Too many cigarettes, buddy. Wow.
All right, I think I got it going good here. There should be a headphone jack down here. I just wanted to be able to check the audio recording and make sure it sounds good. So yeah, go ahead and try it. Say something.
Hello.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that works really good.
Just normal talk.
Yeah, you don't even. Yeah, that's a good microphone. It picks it up well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So let me go ahead and start that recording. All right. Yeah, I think we're good. So you were talking about your mom and Libby, and
well,
go visit her and stuff.
Where would you like to start from? Growing up or not?
Yeah, I guess if you want to start with your earliest memory about, living with your stepdad or with your mom and stuff, or going to live with your stepdad or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe I should introduce myself.
Yeah, maybe start off with that, yeah.
Get her going here.
Yeah.
My name is Ron Parker. I was born in 1941. My dad had a garage in Whitefish, and we lived just across the road from the train station. I remember the soldiers coming back from World War II. We had a cluster of trees over there by the viaduct in Whitefish. And it had pulled into the station. Some of the troops would jump off the troop train and they'd come over to the garage that my dad had in Whitefish there on Baker Street. They'd try to ask for vegetables or meat or anything they could make a stew out of. And we gave them what we could. You'd hear them down there next to the tracks amongst the trees. They'd be down there. Probably a few of them had a couple bucks. They'd go get a little bit of wine or whatever. And they'd snuggle down in the trees and make a stew or whatever they could round up. It was hard times.
Yeah.
And by golly, just off the top of my head from memory, they'd catch the next train heading which way they wanted to go. There was no charge for the troops back then. Whichever way the train went, they'd jump on the train and head closer to home. In 1945, when the war ended, there was more troops coming home, and we were happy to help out at anything we could do, and which wasn't much back then. Nobody had a lot recuperating from the war, but hopefully the ones that wanted to make their destination made it, and I was happy about that. But only being 4 years old, staying with my stepdad, I never did see my real dad.
You never met him?
Never met him. And actually, I didn't really want to.
Why's that?
Because my dad's name was Roy LaBar, and I went by the name of Ron LaBar, Ronald, until I was 18 years of age. And the hardest part was when I got to be 18 years old, I wanted to join the service. So I had to go get my birth certificate.
Right.
And it come out to Ron Parker. Well, the sad part of it is, long story short, my mother was married to a Parker before she married my dad, LaBar.
Right. Your stepdad.
Yeah. It's kind of a messed up deal, you know. However, a few years later, or up in my life, I learned that Parker was my father.
Your real dad.
My real dad. It was somebody else, see? So that's what I mean. It's kind of a mixed up deal.
Yeah.
My mother, when she gave birth to me, she took Parker's name.
Mm-hmm.
When I was born, Ronald J. Parker, and that was on my birth certificate.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I grew up with my stepdad, Roy LaBar, so consequently I had to, all the way through my upcomings till I was 18, my name was LaBar.
Right.
She passed my dad's name, well, supposedly my dad's name that she had on my birth certificate.
Certificate, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as Parker.
Yeah.
But I always went through LaBar growing up and going through school
Right.
until I joined the service.
Did you talk to her about that when you found out, that your last name was Parker on your birth certificate? Did you ask your mom?
Yes, I did.
What'd she have to say about it?
It kind of hurt me because I thought, well, I'm 18 years old. I'd been through 18 years of believing I was LaBar.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a shot in the arm. And I think it hurt my dad's feelings. LaBar that raised me.
Yeah. Did he know that he wasn't your biological father?
Yeah, he knew all along.
Yeah.
But he never said nothing.
Right.
Yeah. And by golly, well, I don't want to get ahead of the story. I wanted to, Roy LaBar was my dad.
Yeah.
Deep in my heart.
Right.
Because I grew up with him.
Yeah. I remember the story you're telling me about, the other family who took care of you for a little bit, when you were thinking about living somewhere else,
Well, yeah, I'd been passed around. My mother was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'd go to see her in Libby, and my dad, sometimes I'd ask, Dad, can I go see my mother?
Yeah.
Well, I knew my grandparents, no matter what my name was,
Yeah.
I was my mother's son.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go to see my mom in Libby, and I'd never see her that much. I'd go maybe, probably 2 or 3 years, never even see her. But when I got the inkling to go see her,
Mm-hmm.
I'd ask my dad, Roy, I'd like to go see my mom. There was no problem there. He'd say, Ronnie, you sure can. Back then they had, there was 2 trains that ran between Whitefish and Libby. One was I got to think on this one.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Take your time.
Well, one was an Empire Builder. That was a quick route. And then there was, oh boy, a cheaper route.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think right off. But anyhow, the lesser money train, I believe back then, it was less than $2. He could put me on the train.
Yeah.
And where the depot is in Libby was only about a block from the Mint Bar
Yeah.
in Libby. And I'd take the cheap train
Mm-hmm.
and get off the train in Libby and walk over to the Mint Bar
Yeah.
because I knew my mom would be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd check in with her and we'd have a good day,
Yeah.
maybe 2 days. And then she couldn't handle me anymore. Not that I was that much of a problem, but
Right.
she just didn't care.
Yeah, she wasn't really the mother type.
She wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'd end up staying with my aunt. I had 2 good aunts, Allie and Grace. And she'd always pawn me off to them when she got tired and didn't want to watch me around the bar.
Yeah.
Everybody in the bar knew me.
About how old were you when you were going to see her?
Oh boy. I'd say 9 or 10 years old.
9 or 10, riding the train.
Ride the train all by myself.
Yeah.
And
Go into the bar and see your mom for a couple days and then.
I'd go into the bar and see Mom.
Yeah.
It all depends on how many pork chops she drank or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And she'd get tired of me and or couldn't handle me or didn't want to,
Right, yeah. Just didn't want
in
to.
her state of mind.
Yeah. Probably didn't like the idea of the responsibility and then, kind of pushed you away or.
She did,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But I spent quite a bit of time out at my grandma and grandpa's place. They lived 20 miles south of Libby.
Yeah.
And mountain folks, he was a lumberjack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stump jumper.
Yeah.
And they'd keep me and nurtured me and learned me a lot about the woods, and I learned a lot from my grandparents.
Yeah.
They were fishermen and hunt, do anything
Right.
in the woods.
Yeah.
And I loved it out there. Loved to fish, well, back in them days, before, even after the licenses come on for game animals,
Yeah.
they'd shoot deer or get an overabundance of fish or whatever.
Right.
It was just tough times.
Yeah.
And the game wardens and everybody knew it. And
Right.
if you ate what you shot or caught,
Yeah.
they'd let you go.
Yeah, it's poaching isn't the right word. It's
Survival.
yeah, pretty much, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
But growing up with them out there on the place, and I learned a lot about the nature and just the basics of survival.
Yeah.
And by golly, I'd spend a while with them, and then I'd get tired of that outfit, and then I'd want to come back to Whitefish to my dad, Roy.
Yeah.
And just go from there. Western Star was the name of the other train.
Oh, okay.
It stopped at every crossing, every road.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to get on the train, they'd stand alongside the tracks and wave it down. They'd stop for them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like a subway or like a trolley or something.
Well, yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, them were great times, I'll tell you, buddy.
Yeah.
Like Olney and Trigo, Rexford, Warland.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I used to, my mom and aunt and uncle, they had a little band they had together to make a little bit of money from our pork chops.
Yeah.
And they played around Libby and
What kind of music? Like country music?
country music, all country.
Yeah.
They learned a lot from their mom, my Grandma Macon. And she played the guitar and taught them what they needed to know, chording and singing, and
Yeah.
a lot of singing back in them days.
Right.
No radio or no TV for sure.
Yeah.
And they'd drag out their guitars, and my mom played the guitar, and my uncle, he played guitar and he played lead. My aunt, she played the bass and accordion.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of rounded out things. And back then, anybody that could sing or had enough backbone to get up and sing in front of a crowd, they'd buy them drinks all night long.
Yeah.
So it didn't cost much money.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people in the mint bar was all lumberjacks.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that sounded like music, well, set them up for them guys. They're doing good.
Right.
And
This train's gonna come by, make some noise.
yeah. But yeah, God, them were good old days, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to be able to go back and see what those days were like.
Yeah, you bet. Some parts weren't too pretty good, but
Yeah.
the mainstream was you survived, and the ones that wanted to get sideways could, and the ones that didn't, they had to put up with the ones that went sideways.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you had to be a stronger person back then to, be more resourceful. Like you had to take care of your own,
Yeah,
You couldn't just go to the store and buy what you needed. You had to make it or,
yeah, you bet, but
trade for it or find some guy who knew how to make it for you.
yeah. But, yeah, that Western Star, I don't remember when my mother got me into singing because she sang to me when I was a baby.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too long and I caught on pretty good.
Yeah.
She used to yodel.
Yeah.
Yodel's a profession now.
Right.
You don't even hear it anymore.
Yeah.
But to my benefit, I'd get on the Western Star heading for Libby and start singing, yodeling and everything. I thought, boy, this is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Well, back then, the coach car that you rode in had a little, I'd say a table with a few things on it, like apples, oranges, a sandwich, or whatever.
Yeah.
And my dad, once in a while, on my trips, he'd pack me a sandwich or something, to get through. It took a whole day for that Western Star to get from Whitefish to Libby.
Yeah.
On account of stopping every crossroad and
Yeah.
switch back or whatever.
Right.
But anyhow, as far as I remember, there never was a bunch of passengers on the train, that Western Star.
Mm-hmm.
The people with money took the Empire Builder.
Yeah.
Faster goes Spokane or the other way to wherever,
Right.
Seattle or,
Yeah.
well, that's going wrong. Seattle and Spokane's on the same track going east or west. It's going west. But I'd sit by myself in a seat there and start singing a little bit, and I'd have whatever was riding with me, they'd all chip in and we'd have a good trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forget what you call them, the people on, usually a colored guy, would be in charge of all the fruit and sandwiches or whatever.
Right.
But anyhow, I'd make it good. I'd sing a little bit and yodel a little bit. And people from back east, they never heard anybody yodel.
Yeah.
What's the matter with your throat? Can't you sing straight? Well, yeah, this is the way we do it out here.
Right.
Oh, okay. But anyhow, I'd get to Libby and see my mom for a couple of days, and then I'd have to live with my two aunts or my grandparents, and then I'd want to go back to Whitefish. But I was kind of a hellraiser too when I was a kid,
Yeah.
'cause
Getting a lot of trouble.
not a lot of trouble, because I got to the knowledge to work the system where I stayed out of trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mother, she married a man named Boothman.
Boothman?
They were founders of Libby.
Mm.
They come from across the ocean and that. And the main man, he had money and built a fine home north of Libby.
Yeah.
But I stayed with them for a while. They had 3 or 4 boys, a couple daughters. My stepdad, his nickname was Buzz Boothman. And I don't know if I want to put this on there.
No, you don't have to. And I could always cut it out too, you know.
Well, I was staying with, her name was Brad back then. And they lived up on a bench there north of Libby. And it just so happened when I went to see my mother, they were married. And one day, they went on a horseback ride. They had property there almost up to Libby from their house. But anyhow, I think I was, in the 2nd grade maybe. They went for the horseback ride, and I thought, boy, they must be in Libby at the Mint, because Buzz's older brother owned the Mint Bar.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought, I'm going to catch a ride with the Zone Light truck. That's back when that asbestos and everything, nobody knew what it would do to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the trucks went by, dump trucks. And they'd offload when you come into Libby, you'd cross the bridge and make a right. And they had a big, long building there full of, they'd dump and then they'd put the asbestos on boxcars and send it wherever it went, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, by God, I know where Mom and Buzz is. They're in the Mint Bar drinking it up, and I'm going to hitch a ride to town and go see them.
Yeah.
Well, sure enough, first time out, I got a ride in a Zone Light truck. And it was only about a half a block just on one side where the truck had to go, and the Mint Bar over on the other side. So, boy, I'll tell you, a rainstorm came up. It was flat raining. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, I go into the Mint. No Mom or Buzz, either one. Mm-hmm. And I thought, boy, I wonder where they are. So I start making it down the street, and I stopped into a mom and pop grocery store. And the guy recognized me, the owner of the property, and he made a phone call out to the ranch. Well, I got Ronnie in here and it's raining to beat hell. What should I do? Well, Buzz had got back to the farm or the ranch house.
Yeah.
Here he come to town with a flatbed truck. Pulled up and got me loaded up, and we got up to the ranch. And they had a cattle guard off from the highway so that animals couldn't get out on the highway.
Yeah.
And there was a steep hill going up to the ranch house. Maybe, I'd say half a block long.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he picked me up and we headed back to the ranch. And he pulled up to the cattle guard and he said, "Ronnie, get out." So I got out. And he had a silver brad on his belt. Took his belt off. He said, "Start walking." I started up the hill and I made about 4 or 5 steps. Whack! He hit me like a black snake right across the cheeks of my ass.
Yeah.
Man, I went down on my knees. It hurt so bad.
Right.
He said, "Get up." Got up, started again, and whack! Another one. Well, Jake, as I was going up that hill, I don't know how many times he hit me,
Yeah.
but it was just like a crack of a black snake hitting you.
Yeah.
And by God, I decided to try to gain a little ground to get up that hill.
Yeah.
And I finally got up there, and then he got me in a house. And then he turned the belt around where he had a double loop in his hand.
Yeah.
Gave me another spanking. And he said, "I'm going to teach you to not run away from home."
That's what he thought you were doing?
Yeah. And I said, "Hey, I just wanted to find you.
Yeah.
I wanted to find my mom." Well, that didn't cut ice either.
Yeah.
So he cut my pants open with that silver brad on the end of his belt.
Yeah.
When he'd hit me, it'd tear my pants maybe 4 inches.
Yeah.
I got marks on my ass to this day
Oh, really?
where he laid me open.
Yeah.
And after in the house spanking he gave me, I was flat ass beat.
Yeah.
And he said, "Now you go upstairs and go to bed." Well, I went upstairs. I was glad to get upstairs and go to bed.
Yeah.
I was laying in bed and Mom came up. She looked at me and oh my God, she said, "What the hell did he do?"
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And I told my mother, I said, "I didn't run away from home. I just went to find you."
Yeah.
And so that was one of my comeuppance in life that I didn't want to have happen,
Right.
but yeah.
Did he drink a lot too, or was he just kind of?
Well, he drank his share,
Yeah.
but I don't know what got into him. He had a hell of a temper,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
which he didn't have to use on me all at once.
Right. Yeah.
Don't take it all out on me. There's somebody else down the pike that deserves something.
Right. Yeah. No, he. That's pretty rough. It's pretty brutal.
It is. It is.
Breaking the skin open and leaving welts on you, and you still have scars from
Well,
it.
I got scars that
Yeah.
wide. And I didn't come downstairs for 3 days. I didn't want to eat. I felt like, by God, I'm damn near dead here.
Yeah.
If a young kid can think that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, you're too afraid to come down there.
Yeah.
You might as well just hide away and starve or something.
Well,
I know.
hope my ass heals up.
Yeah.
Can you get this?
Yeah, I can pause it. Yeah,
I'm going to go and take a pee-pee.
Yeah, we can take a break.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you. Mom asked me one time, she seen me bare ass. She said, "What the hell happened to you?"
Yeah.
Well, I lied to her. I said, I was trying to crawl through a barbed wire fence and I got hung up.
Oh, shit, yeah.
But that ain't the story.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, Christ, I remember that well.
Yeah. There you go.
I gotta think for a minute. Where'd we leave off?
Talking about Boothman whooping your ass when you
yeah.
go looking for your mom.
Well, let's see. I wanted to get the hell out of Dodge on that one.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wanted to go back to see my dad. Let's see.
So yeah, where was your dad? Like, cause you said your mom was married to the Boothman guy in Libby, right?
Yeah.
And then your dad was in White, or your stepdad was in Whitefish.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And how old were you about that time?
I think I was in 3rd grade.
Really? He gave you that bad of a whooping when you're only in 3rd grade?
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Well, that's rough stuff, boy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I thought I was gonna die.
What year do you think that was? Like 1950 or something around there?
Let's see. 41.
Shit, you said you were born in 41?
Yep. Might have been 51 or 52.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But probably about that big.
Right, only like 10, 11 years old. Yeah, not. Yeah, it's pretty.
I wasn't 10 years old. I started smoking when I was 9.
Yeah.
That's another story too.
That's another story.
Let me think. Yeah, I went back to live with my dad.
Yeah.
And did you warm that up, bud?
No, I'm just eating it. Oh,
Oh, it's better hot.
yeah, I'll warm it up, right?
It's up to you.
I
I
just
don't
all
want.
night and I was like,
I don't want to ruin your appetite. You look like you need something. How can I start this out again to make it seem real? Everybody's going to say, "Oh, he's full of shit." But what I'm telling you is the way it was.
Yeah, I believe you.
I have to think a little bit where I can cut into that part. How old was I when I left off?
Yeah, you said you went back to see your dad or live with your dad in Whitefish after that with your mom and Libby and stuff, and you were saying that before you told me you started smoking when you were 10, or I guess 9 or 10.
Oh, yeah.
That was a whole story. You could tell that would be interesting, like the first time you smoked a cigarette. Because I know you have a...
Well, I never had a cigarette.
You never did? Like for your first time?
No. I went down the river, and there's a weed that grows up along the riverbank.
Yeah.
I had an older buddy tell me this. Anyhow, you cut these weeds off, and they got a punk in the middle. You know what I mean about punk? It's a soft center. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but you could take I'd take a wire.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Poke it up and down in this piece of wood
Yeah.
and get the punk out of it. You light the end of it and you puff on it.
Yeah.
You get a lot of smoke out of one of them dudes. But anyhow, don't draw too hard, because it's got a flame about this high on the far end. If you take a big drag, holy shit, your balls are going to catch on fire. So I learned not to take too big of a puff.
Off weeds growing on the bank.
Doing this shit, and goddamn, felt pretty good, I don't know what the hell was in the stump, but I was smoking the other end. Anyhow, yeah, that's my first taste of smoking. Almost my last. I thought my balls were on fire. But
some buddy you had there tell you to go do that. What a friend.
when I was in 4th grade, I was in the country school. I had to stay with my aunt and uncle because my stepmom was pregnant and my dad took her to North Dakota because, I don't know, he didn't want to be embarrassed or something, but
Yeah.
you go to North Dakota and all the family knew he couldn't have kids, and here he comes back to town cradling the kid. So they sent me to my aunt and uncle down there. It was called Bald Rock School. There was 12 kids in the school, country school. There was, I don't think we had anybody in the 1st or 2nd grade,
You only had 12 kids in the whole school?
the whole country school.
Damn.
Yeah.
Was it a very big school?
Well,
That's
probably
size of a
as
house.
big as this area here,
Yeah.
but I flunked the 3rd grade in Whitefish, being too smart.
Being too smart.
Anyhow, that year I got sent with my aunt and uncle, and they had 2 kids in the 4th grade, so they put me in with the 4th graders, and I passed that year. So instead of, and then the next year I went back to Whitefish, and all the teachers there knew me, and they said, "Ronnie, you flunked the 3rd grade, and now you're in the 4th, and they passed you?" Yeah. So there I jumped back where I should have been,
Yeah. Right.
and boy, I'll tell you, they sent papers from Whitefish to Kalispell, because that's where I passed,
Yeah.
and they said, "You can't pass him into the 4th grade, he flunked the 3rd.
Yeah.
By God, they let it go.
That's awesome.
So I got back on track again. But I went downhill ever since. But anyhow,
Hey, you seem like you're doing all right today. That's for sure.
well, I grew up on a farm, buddy.
Yeah.
I thought I was smarter than that, so I went from the 4th grade all the way through school, working in the woods with my dad. And my freshman year, I thought, oh, I'm smarter than this stuff.
Yeah.
I quit school
You dropped out freshman year?
Yep, Christmas, my freshman year. And my dad, he never discouraged me or nothing, or kicked me in the butt to keep on the trucking.
Yeah.
He said, it's your life.
Right.
If you don't want to go to school, I got another hand to help me in the woods.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, I'm going for it.
Right.
So I went to school till Christmas, my 9th grade. And I didn't miss school a bit, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And that was in probably 58, maybe. Because it's, yeah,
You were probably like 16 or 17 when you dropped out?
yeah, about 60.
Yeah.
Because there was a bunch of fires burning around the whole valley. And by God, one day on the radio, they started calling for firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept hearing this on the radio. I used to play the radio in my dad's shop south of Whitefish. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, they're calling for firefighters. Let's go. He says, Ronnie, you've never been on a forest fire. I said, I know that, Dad, but I know the woods. And yeah, I was 17. But I'd worked in the woods with Dad for 4 or 5 years, or a long time, you know.
Right, I remember you saying that when you went to sign up with the Forest Service guy, because
Yeah.
you had to be 18, but you're only 17.
Yep, and he knew me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, Roy, I know Ronnie's below the wire here, but he said, oh, my dad was going to get a crew together, and his name was Don Rose out of Whitefish. And he said, I know he can handle himself in the woods as good as anybody else. I said, I'll cut the wire and let him go. So my first fire was up there by Eureka. And they lost a couple of cats and a lot of chainsaws and stuff. And we got up in there. I think I was up there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. God, boy, was I making money for a kid,
Right.
you know.
How much would you make about? I can't remember how much you said for the first week or so. Or once you finally got paid, you said you had quite a bit of money. You bought like a truck or something with it, and
Wow,
I can't remember exactly what you said.
that was up in the park later,
Oh, okay.
on the park fire.
Gotcha.
I was on about 5 fires that summer.
Hmm.
They even flew us over to Pierce, Idaho to fight fire over there.
Yeah.
And then we fought one down in Swan Lake.
In the Idaho one, though, didn't you guys get flown back, though, because the guy, he didn't know what he was doing?
College kid?
Yeah, the college kid or something. He didn't
Yeah.
know what the hell he was doing.
He went in orbit because there was a snag burning out
Yeah,
in the middle of a damn burn off.
right.
And he said, we got to follow that, you know. And then he said, who's all going to follow me? Well, we had our own crew.
Yeah.
And he said, anybody that wants to work with me, cross this line.
Yeah.
Well, that was a bad mistake. 'Cause there was nobody that crossed that line,
Yeah.
and they shipped our ass home.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was in the park there on a park fire for 29 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I made the money on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those other fires that you were working on, did you not make that much money, or?
Well, we would have made the same money,
Mm.
but the amount of time we spent up
Oh, okay.
there,
Gotcha.
yeah,
I see what you're saying.
yeah. It was kind of a jump around.
Yeah.
We had, they called us, well, they call them the hot shots today.
Okay. Yeah.
We were right in that category.
Right.
They get a fire going and they'd send up LeBar's crew. My God, we'd get with it. But, you know, Jake, when I was on the, they call it the Glen Lake fire.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one we was on. That's where we got our name. Because we fought fire at night. And you probably know at nighttime your moisture and everything, your humidity drops down. So we could get up close with the fire
Yeah.
and do our best work at night.
Okay, yeah.
Well, we got up there in the park. Shit, you got trees that big around burning up, and a lot of windfalls and widowmakers, they call them,
Right.
falling out in the fire. They wouldn't let us firefight at night on account of you couldn't see what the hell was coming off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made a hell of a name up here. We had our name in the paper and all this shit. And our crew, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
They had, we had 50 Indians from Browning come over to help us. We had 120 Zuni Indians from New Mexico come up. Well, shit, they was only here for a week and half of them caught pneumonia
Yeah, I remember you saying.
on account of the climate change.
Yeah.
They had to ship them all back home.
Right. They're used to the desert heat. The cold
Yeah.
was too much for them.
Yeah. Well, long story short, when we went up on the Glen Lake fire, we was fighting it at night, and we're getting the job done, and we had, I forget how many Indians from Browning. They always sign up, even today, they sign up big time for fighting fire. But back then, I forget how many we had. But one of the bucks, he leaned against a tree, fell asleep, and I got the fire crept up in the grass on his tree.
Yeah.
Started his shirt tail on fire. Down the pike he went. He passed my dad. He was the fire boss. He said, "Roy, which way is it to Browning?" He was going to head out and get the hell out of Dodge. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. We all laughed at that. God damn, you always, if you're going to try to catch some sleep, go out in the burn and lean up against a tree. Don't do it where there's grass that high.
Right, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, getting back to a trip I made to Libby to see my mom. In my smoking, I got up there at Christmas time. My mother never gave me a present my whole life.
Really? Never?
Never did. Never. Well, Christ, how much does a present cost and how many drinks can I have on that deal?
Yeah, right.
Anyhow, I was staying with a friend and he gave me, I think, $5 for my Christmas. Boy, I thought this is cool.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I repaid him back. I bought him a hunting knife for his Christmas.
Mm.
But I had enough left over to buy my mom. They used to call them flat 50s. You'd get a half carton of cigarettes for whatever, and that took care of my money.
Right.
So I go with him down to the Mint, walk in, "Merry Christmas, Mom. Happy New Year." Up here. No, I didn't say it. Anyhow. I said, I got you a present. "Well, what the hell are you doing in the bar at this time of night?" Christ, the sun just went down. I was in there.
Yeah.
Anyhow, she started shooting my ass out and this and that. And, "You go back where you belong." Well, where the hell do I belong? I don't know jack shit around here.
Yeah.
But they all knew me.
Right.
You know what I did?
What?
I took the half a carton of cigarettes home and smoked the sons of bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was ungrateful, or, she was ungrateful and didn't care, didn't want to see him, might as well, right?
What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, she never gave you anything, so.
Yeah. And then I was, what the hell? I wasn't 15 years old. I know that.
Yeah.
Probably 13. Puffing away on that carton of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Hell with it. You know.
Was that I know you said the first time you smoked was that, the weed you found growing on the bank or whatever, but do you remember the first time you actually smoked a cigarette? Was it that time when you got that carton?
No, I was hooked on it by then.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, you know what Indian tobacco is?
Just like the natural tobacco, or?
Yeah, it grows. It's a weed,
Yeah.
but it's got little bitty round,
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
flat. You strip it off when it dries.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried that?
No, I've never done that. That's what you're saying you were smoking? Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. They call it Indian tobacco.
Yeah, Indian tobacco, yeah.
grows on a. Oh, I remember it. It grows on a stem about this long, and then it's got kind of a flowery top.
In that.
But when it dries, it turns into like little bitty seeds.
Yeah.
Whoa. But anyhow, you strip it off, put it in a poke, and shit, man, you got tobacco.
Yeah.
It is smoking, what the hell? Good enough for white men.
Yeah.
You, in that video game, that Red Dead Redemption, where you play a cowboy or whatever, that you remember seeing me play it at the house in Helena? It was right. You're
I
like,
was telling
shoot,
about it yesterday.
you're like, shoot that guy. And I shot him while I was riding my horse and stuff. They actually have Indian tobacco plants that you can pick in that video game and
You know
stuff.
what?
So I know you're talking. I've never seen it personally, like in, you know.
It grows over on the east side.
Okay. I thought you were saying your buddy just gave you like a random plant or something, just like,
Oh, no.
you know, but Indian tobacco is
No,
what he
hell,
does
we
or
knew what the hell we was getting.
something. Yeah, for sure. I gotcha.
But then,
I thought he was playing a prank on you or something, like go smoke this weed, like just a you know, not tobacco, but just some weed, and you know. But no, I see what you're saying now.
yeah,
Okay.
Speaking of tobacco, you mind if I steal one of your smokes?
here. Oh, it's out there.
I think you got.
I might go have one. Can we shut
Yeah,
this up?
absolutely. Pause it.
Yeah. Oh, Christ, yeah, I smoked everything but my socks.
That's funny shit.
Yeah. Christ. Well, you know, I believe in people being able to say what they want to say.
Right, like the constitutional amendment rights and stuff.
Look at all the people that died so you could talk bullshit, whatever you want to do.
Right, yeah. Yeah, what you know, this country was based on and what we believed in when we founded it, you know, our founding fathers as well. I'm gonna turn this off. I think Zach left with me.
Oh, yeah, it's boiling.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Should I slide it over or just leave it there?
Oh, it'll be okay.
Alright.
Just make it stronger.
Yeah.
He won't have to pull up his socks. Yeah, well, like I say, I come from the old school. And, goddamn, I wonder about not only you boys, but your children that might come.
Yeah.
Like little Knox. What the hell's he gonna look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting what's going to happen. You know, you're talking before about, you know, like the cost of things and your way of life and how it just changes with, you know, renovations or innovations rather, and like technology and stuff. And they say too, you know, once a lot of things get automated, you know, like you got the assembly lines right now where the, you know, trucks and cars are put together by like robots for them. I mean, sure, the people play a fundamental role in making sure it all goes down smoothly, but eventually there's going to be a lot of shit that people aren't needed for anymore, like the jobs.
There you go.
And so they're saying like
Not only automobiles, but
yeah, no,
agriculture, the whole
every-
planet's gonna go.
like manual labor, they're saying for the most, like shit, like, you know.
Well, you know, just a joke.
Yeah.
I used to think that manual labor was the president of Mexico. I just threw that.
That's funny. No, I can see it though. I can hear it. That's funny.
That goes to show how stupid I am.
No, that's awesome. That's funny. Manual labor.